The sound of gunfire gradually subsided, replaced by the moans of the wounded, hidden in the shadows. Xiao felt that the timing was ripe. The muscular man, Toby, and his gang had successfully repelled the attacking refugees. The refugees' fight was devoid of any strategy. After a round of chaotic shooting, they started to chase aimlessly. Emerging from the house, Xiao landed smoothly, immediately crouching low. In front of him was a continuous mountain of garbage, green smoke rising from it, and a putrid smell permeating the air. Ignoring this, Xiao's eyes were fixed on a gun lying on the ground in the distance. It was a short-barreled flintlock gun. Despite its worn-out appearance, it was still a lethal weapon. The owner of the gun was already dead, his throat half-blasted by a stray bullet, a gruesome sight to behold. Perhaps because of the concealed location of the death, Toby's gang hadn't noticed this gun. Otherwise, in the weapon-scarce, junk terminal, they would never have left this short-barreled flintlock gun lying there. Crouching low, Xiao began to approach the gun. However, at that moment, a gaunt refugee had already rushed to the short-barreled flintlock gun. His dirty hand reached out for the short-barreled flintlock gun. Xiao frowned, not because the other party had taken the initiative, but because he was afraid that the noise would attract the attention of the two forces. Picking up a fist-sized stone, Xiao threw it with all his might. The stone, carrying a strong force, hit the refugee's arm hard. Bang! The refugee staggered and let out a scream. Xiao rushed behind him, sidestepped his body, and kneed the refugee's spine hard. The refugee bent forward, spitting out a mouthful of sour water. Even after such a heavy blow, the refugee only staggered forward 2 steps but didn't fall. Xiao's pupils constricted. Just how strong were the physical attributes of the people in the One Piece world? This was just a refugee with the worst physical attributes, but he couldn't think about that now. Xiao noticed that the refugee was already showing a ferocious look, like an enraged beast. His mouth full of yellow teeth was clenched, and his masseter muscles bulged. This ferocious appearance would make an ordinary person instinctively retreat, but Xiao was different. He had combat experience and knew that if he ran away at this time, his exposed back would be shot. With a clenched fist, Xiao punched the refugee's lower jaw before he could recover. There are many blood vessels in the human lower jaw. If suddenly hit hard, it can lead to insufficient blood supply to the brain, followed by insufficient oxygen supply, causing short-term unconsciousness. Bang! A few blood-stained yellow teeth flew far away. After taking a full punch from Xiao, the refugee fell backward stiffly, like a falling wooden stick. Ordinary people would faint for a few seconds after being hit in the lower jaw, but the natives of the One Piece world had mysteriously strong bodies, so Xiao turned the refugee's body over and aimed another punch at his neck. With a dull thud, the refugee's life or death was unknown. Xiao grabbed the short-barreled flintlock gun on the ground, and immediately a line of text appeared in front of him. Before Xiao could check it, a large group of people were running from a distance. They were Toby's forces who had failed the chase. Xiao felt a chill in his heart. If he was discovered at this time, he might not even have the chance to speak and would be shot into a sieve. These people were all bloodthirsty. Looking around, Xiao's face looked a bit ugly. His position was surrounded by towering mountains of garbage. These garbage mountains formed a ring, blocking all sides. Xiao didn't dare to climb the unstable garbage mountain. The garbage mountain could collapse at any time, and no one knew what was buried in it. If he was unlucky and was stabbed by a sharp object, he would either die from excessive blood loss or from infection in this harsh environment. So Xiao could only go back into the dilapidated house, where the girl named Mia was looking at him with fear. This time, without Xiao's reminder, Mia took the initiative to speak. "I won't say anything." Noticing that she had spoken, Mia quickly put her hands over her mouth, her eyes glancing at the short-barreled flintlock gun in Xiao's hand. Not long after Xiao entered the house, noisy voices came from outside. After a round of cursing, it gradually quieted down outside. It seemed that those people had come back to scavenge for resources, but judging from their angry voices, their harvest was obviously not good. Xiao breathed a sigh of relief and began to check the prompt that had appeared earlier. Obtained, worn flintlock gun, white, worn flintlock gun, white, origin, One Piece, Leopold Workshop durability, 6/30 bullet capacity, 4/6. Rapid-fire flintlock gun is a unique technology in the One Piece world. Attack power, 213, calculated based on distance, equipment. Requirement, 1 point of strength to use, more than 3 points of strength to use flexibly. Rating, 3. Note, the rating of white equipment is from 1 to 10, and white equipment with a rating of 10 will be marked rare and have special attributes. Introduction, this is a poorly maintained flintlock gun, which has caused its high rating of 9 points to drop to 3 points. Please use it carefully, as the next shot may be its last shot, and also your last shot. Price, 150 Paradise coins. This item is a chance pickup item and cannot be taken out of the One Piece world. The hunter has obtained equipment for the first time. Starting equipment grade introduction. Equipment is divided into white, green, blue. Insufficient rank to obtain the following information. The hunter needs to explore on his own. The hunter has come into contact with Paradise coins for the first time. Starting Paradise coin explanation. Paradise coins can be used to trade with Reincarnation Paradise or other contractors. This is the only universal currency in Reincarnation Paradise. Warning, please use every Paradise coin carefully, because it is your capital for survival or becoming stronger. Su Xiao nodded thoughtfully. It seemed that the Reincarnation Paradise had a strict system, not only marking the performance of various weapons but also having a complete currency mechanism. Although Su Xiao knew that he would face many dangers in the future, he was somewhat looking forward to it. He was looking forward to how the Reincarnation Paradise could make him stronger. Although he didn't know how to become stronger yet, there must be such a method in the Reincarnation Paradise, otherwise, he wouldn't be able to complete the more difficult tasks in the future. After carefully checking the worn flintlock gun in his hand, Su Xiao showed a smile. Finally, he had a weapon. Otherwise, he wouldn't feel at ease in this dangerous world. But compared to firearms, Su Xiao preferred to use cold weapons, such as knives, those narrow, extremely sharp long knives. If he had his match knife with him, Su Xiao's combat power would increase by at least 50%. He had understood the basic situation, and now he needed to prepare to complete the mission. The mission time limit was only 72 hours. Su Xiao didn't want to try what would happen if the mission failed, so he had to devote himself entirely to the completion of the mission. But wanting to assassinate a king of a country was definitely not a simple matter, so he needed some other methods. At least he had to be able to get close to that king. The idea of secretly infiltrating the palace had never occurred to Su Xiao, because in the One Piece world, there was something called observation. Haki, according to Su Xiao's memory, this king should be related to the world nobles, the celestial dragons, and it was not impossible for a master proficient in observation Haki to appear around him. Otherwise, with Su Xiao's assassination ability, the difficulty of assassinating a king would not be LV.3. In the real world full of surveillance equipment, Su Xiao was able to carry out his revenge plan, let alone in the technologically backward One Piece world, but it's too early to think about these things now. The most important thing is to understand where he is. The Reincarnation Paradise doesn't have a map function, everything depends on his own exploration. Su Xiao's gaze fell on the girl hiding in the corner. She lived in the junk terminal and must know it well. When she noticed Su Xiao's gaze, Mia curled up. What are you going to do? The girl's voice trembled slightly, with a hint of a sob. She had always hidden her gender, because in the junk terminal, being a woman was a dangerous thing. Are you hungry? Su Xiao squatted in front of the girl, a gentle smile on his face, but his eyes were slightly cold. He was not a kind person. Hatred had long wiped out the kindness in his heart.